1. Hey everybody, welcome to a Local 5 weather live stream. It's been a while since we've had weather that constituted a live stream. Brandon here, Taylor here. It's been busy already in Northwest Iowa. Yeah, rough morning for travelers in that part of the state. The pictures speak 1,000 words. Here's Sioux City, and it is coming down in heaps down in the northwest corner of the state. So that's going to be where travel is the worst today in Iowa. But elsewhere, Council Bluffs roads are just kind of wet. We are dealing with some roads that are wet in other parts of the state, like Boone, for example, up toward Ellsworth, and with temperatures kind of hovering near the freezing mark, that is going to result in some issues with icy conditions developing as we head toward lunchtime and into this afternoon as well. So let's go ahead and get to the radar and show you what's going on. It's a pretty big system, bringing snow everywhere from Colorado and Kansas through Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. So we're going to have the heaviest snow end up developing where you see the heavy band right now. Minneapolis getting some of that as well. Closer to home, it's snow in the northwest corner of the state, but on the southern edge of this band is where things kind of get a little messy right now. Yeah, this is what we just call a mixed bag, literally. I don't know where the term bag came from, but it's basically all different kinds of precipitation at once. We have snow, sometimes occasionally switching over to rain and drizzle, probably some sleet embedded within there as well. I would bet that a majority of this, based on what we're seeing on the cameras, is actually rainfall. Yeah. But it will change over, I believe, as colder air moves through. And also keep in mind that as the temperatures drop, even though it's just rain, it will still cause problems later on. Yeah, temperatures today are a big deal. So right now we're kind of hovering close to freezing in this part of Iowa. And as those temperatures continue to drop this afternoon, any moisture that's on the roads will possibly transition to ice and will lead to icy road conditions, and sometimes ice is harder to drive on than snow, so that's something we're definitely keeping an eye on. As for Des Moines and Ames, pretty quiet, dry morning, but we are going to see at least some of this moisture move toward those locations this afternoon. It's just a matter of will we actually get any snow? I'm not terribly certain that's going to be the case, but we could at least get some of that light rain that could transition to light freezing rain and may make for some difficult travel later on today. Here are the road conditions from the Iowa DOT right now. Blue is where we have partially covered roads, whether that's ice or snow. This is where we're having problems right now, and that does include all of Webster County, including Fort Dodge. So where it's green, we are good to go for the time being, including in Des Moines. But here's kind of what we're expecting later on today. During your lunch hour in Des Moines should be just fine. We will start to see that wintry mix develop in Des Moines by mid-afternoon. So again, you might see a little light rain, a little light snow, starting to see those roads deteriorate a little bit by mid-afternoon. And then, Brandon, by the evening commute, that's when it could get a little bit rougher out there. That's the part that I'm worried about, and I hope that maybe I'm overestimating how slick the roads will be. But we get sometimes a flash freeze scenario that maybe won't be super flash this time around because temperatures will steadily drop. But think about all the drizzle, the light rain that we get when temperatures are above freezing. As the temps go down, bridges, overpasses, elevated surfaces, they will start to freeze over. And I think this could be a scenario early this evening where it actually doesn't look that bad, but it's potentially slick, especially on those elevated areas. And of course, if it does flip over to a little bit of light snow, we know that sometimes the smallest snows can cause the biggest problems. And then of course you've got the wind too. So it may not look all that serious, but I'm still worried that it could be pretty slippery later on. Yeah, we've had some big accidents in recent years from snows that are less than an inch. Right, and for, a glazing of ice. So that's kind of why we're, really trying to drive that point home, is that it may look just kind of wet and gray and brown in the grass outside, but that doesn't mean that we won't have problems. Yeah, that's right. So let's go through Futurecast here and walk you through the rest of the day. This might be overdoing the snow a little bit on the southern edge at least, but I think the point is that north central to northwest Iowa, pretty good bet you'll have snow through much of the afternoon. If we do see snow in Des Moines and Ames, it would probably be
late afternoon, maybe that 3 to 6 o'clock window. Even then, it might kind of be off and on. As you can see, it kind of breaks apart a little bit there on the southern edge. But we could get at least a brief push of snow during that time. Most of this is going to clear out of here by 6, 7 o'clock, and we'll see clearing skies later on tonight. So whatever happens today, it's not going to last very long.
No, but it will get a lot colder tonight too. So speaking of, the slick roadways this evening, there is a good chance that if they're slick this evening, they're not going to be a whole lot better first thing tomorrow morning.
Yeah, temperatures are just going to keep on dropping through the night and most of the day tomorrow. Here's our snowfall forecast for this entire system when it's said and done. Heaviest totals will be up in the northwest quadrant of the state. We're looking at 3 to 5 inches near Spencer. 1 to 3 in Fort Dodge. That's going to depend on how quickly we can get this mix to transition to snow. The longer we have to wait for that transition, the less you're going to end up with as far as actual snow is concerned. Same goes for Carroll. So if we continue to see this freezing rain up in those locations, you might be looking at closer to just 1 inch of snow in Fort Dodge and Carroll. But time will tell just how quickly that's snow. That freezing rain transitions to snow. Now, another issue today is going to be the wind. It's not windy in Des Moines right now, but it is certainly windy in the western part of the state with gusts close to 40 miles per hour in Carroll and Sioux City. And as we move through the afternoon, that stronger wind is going to move into the rest of us in central Iowa. So we are looking at some gusty winds picking up later on today, especially afternoon. Gusts in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range are expected for most of us, and that might be at the same time that we have a little snow falling. So
yeah,
that combo
that could not only reduce the visibility, but lead to some blowing snow concerns. It's pretty remarkable how quickly those winds will jump up. As soon as that front arrives, you'll feel the wind. You'll also start to feel the temperatures falling. So we go from what's been pretty light wind this morning all of a sudden to northwest gusts coming in really quickly, 35, 40 miles per hour. You can actually make out where that colder air is and where the frontal boundary is. Carroll, Fort Dodge, already seeing wind chills in the teens. It feels like 12 degrees in Carroll. Sioux City's got single-digit wind chills, and then it's 53 in Lamoni. So there is actually some very mild air to the east. As soon as that front hits you, it's going to be a quick change. So Des Moines at 43 right now. That's probably the best we're going to do today.
Yep. So the front arrives in Des Moines probably at noon-ish. It's awfully close right now, so it might even be sooner than that. And once that front passes by, the wind picks up. The temperatures start dropping this afternoon. So while we're well above freezing right now, I think maybe once we get toward the end of the day, that's when temperatures will be falling to below freezing. It looks like around 4 o'clock is when our model is forecasting that. At 6 o'clock, wind chill could be at 15 in Des Moines. Single digits in other parts of the state, and all of us will be well below freezing throughout the night tonight. It is going to be very cold when you wake up tomorrow morning with wind chills getting close to 0 and maybe below 0 in northwest Iowa. So
I would hedge my bets that there will be some sub-zero wind chills tomorrow morning, especially Highway 30 and north. Yeah, it's going to feel pretty rough tomorrow morning.
So hats, gloves, heavy coats, all needed tomorrow morning, and actually most of tomorrow is going to feel pretty rough.
And by the way, the wind doesn't go away tomorrow either. It
Yeah.
might subside 5 miles per hour, but it will still be really windy.
Yeah. So here's our 10-day. It's pretty interesting. A lot going on. We're going to rebound a lot by Friday back to the 50s. So maybe whatever snow we do get melts away by that point. And then
we're going to go right back down.
Right back down on Saturday. Another cold front bringing us chilly weather this weekend. Then our next storm system looks to be, especially around next Monday, that could bring us another round of kind of a wintry mess of rain, maybe some ice, maybe some snow there. That could linger into the following Tuesday as well. So that'll be our next winter storm potentially early next week.
Yeah, so I was just checking. It doesn't look like we have a whole lot of questions, which is a good thing because hopefully that means it's been a pretty clear forecast. I know that it can be tricky sometimes when we talk about snow, freezing, drizzle, sleet, and predicting the quick changes back and forth can be really tough. I think the bottom line is the bigger accumulation will be northwest Iowa. We probably won't see much snow, if any, in the Des Moines area that accumulates. I think we'll probably see flakes that fly at some point. But the wind will probably prevent it from accumulating much. And then also I think the slick roads is the biggest concern later today with the dropping temperatures. I do worry a little bit about everybody flying down the freeway at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., and it's slick, or starting to get slick on the bridges, and we start to have crashes because it doesn't look that bad. So just if you plan to be out later on today, take extra care. And if you don't have to drive later today, maybe get those errands done, next 2 to 3 hours?
Yeah. If you have a choice, sooner the better.
Yeah.
Again, this won't be worst case scenario, the worst we've ever seen, but just don't take it lightly. It is something that can sneak up on people and cause some problems if you're not careful.
Sure.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, with that, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here and get ready for our midday show at 11 o'clock. We'll have updates. Meteorologist Dave Downey's on the road, taking a look at what's going on to the north and west of Des Moines.
Head into Fort Dodge.
Yes. So we'll get some.
And I'll get the beautiful pleasure of waking up to sub-zero wind chills with you tomorrow morning.
Yes. Yeah. It's going to be great. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good day.